Range fans, back here in a little bit of a different format for you today in the old reloading layer. Yes, I'm in my reloading room. It is cold out there, folks, so I didn't want to spend much time out there on the range. As much as I love you, as much as I love sharing that time on the range, enjoyable time on the range, I decided to do it in a little bit of a different format. Today, Colt, King Cobra, Target 22. We're going to talk about it. It's coming up next.
Look out! Get down now! Watch out! We're coming on fire!
All right, folks, we're going to talk about the Colt King Cobra Target 22. But before we do, you can see that it is safe, essentially as it came from the factory. I got this red disc in here so that you know that there are no rounds in this revolver. And now I feel great and comfortable about talking about it with you all. The Colt King Cobra Target. We're going to start from the top and work our way to the bottom. Well, before we do that, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. There's two things about this revolver that I don't like. I fixed one of them. And you're going to want to see how I did such, because I'm telling you, you're going to want to do the same thing if you end up with one of these things. Here we go, top to the bottom. You got bee blasted top strap and barrel is bee blasted on top. No glare. It cuts down from glare in the sunlight. Even though it's very sunny outside, it is 20 degrees outside with about 30-mile-per-hour winds. So yes, it's cutting out here. Hence the reason I'm in the reloading layer. You got the fiber optic front sight. Whoo, that thing sticks out there. Fiber optic front sight. And the fiber optic front sight is easily replaceable. You take this screw out, by the way, on the Anaconda, the Python, Colt King Cobra Target. Those are the ones that I have experience with and have had my hands on directly to see them and actually change one of the sights out on the Anaconda before. Very easy to do. Takes about 5 minutes. You don't need to be a gunsmith. If you're good with it with an old Allen wrench, take your Allen wrench, pop that out, take the fiber optic front sight out, place a compatible front sight back down in there, tighten the screw back in there, you are good to go. But why do you need to replace that beautiful orange front sight is beyond me. Everybody's eyes are different. Some people really like that gold bead front dot, which is what I put on the 44 Anaconda. Working my way back to the rear of this Colt King Cobra, they still have the same rear sight. Here's what I noticed about this rear sight. And if you all have seen the previous video or a couple of videos back, I apologize to Mr. Bill Wilson. You can go over there and see that video and understand why I apologize to him. I wanted to make a public apology to Mr. Bill Wilson because he really talked bad about the rear sight on the Anaconda. It is the same one that's on the Colt King Cobra. Here's what I noticed different. Colt improving upon their QA and improving upon their fit. This rear sight is tight in that top strap and frame. I couldn't say the same for that Colt Anaconda. I replaced it with a Bill Wilson rear sight, and a Bill Wilson rear sight will go in here. This thing is windage and elevation adjustable. But before you adjust the windage, there's a little screw down in here. You need the little Allen wrench. Colt, come on. Why didn't you include the Allen wrench to adjust this thing? I had to go find one and had to buy a special one, a small one, and I'll include the size of it down in the links below, but I had to buy a special one to be able to adjust this, and it is very tight. There is no side-to-side movement, no side-to-side movement when you adjust the rear sight on this one. It is all blacked out, and there is a little square notch that orange, that front bead sight. Oh man, fiber optic, I'm all messed up here. I get so excited about this stuff. That front sight sits right in between that U-notch of the rear sight. Then we're gonna work our way down. Doesn't this thing look like the Python just a hair? Because you got the ribbed barrel. And to me, that's very unique about this Colt Cobra Target. working our way down. Colt had great attention to detail. Even the extractor on the revolver, even that thing is knurled. Man, it's pretty grippy. That is pretty aggressive, but it won't tear up your hands or anything like that. I actually appreciate it being pretty aggressive. Here is one of the pieces that I didn't care for. I don't know why they did it. Not sure what's going on with it. You know, by the way, you've seen, by the way, plenty of videos that show when Colt first came out with these things, there was a bunch of misfires. People sent them back to the factory, got them repaired and all that good stuff. I haven't had that trouble just yet. But the rear cylinder, 10 shot, by the way, the rear cylinder is not recessed. There's something about a recessed cylinder, sort of sexy, I think, anyways. But it's not recessed like on the model 617 from Smith & Wesson, but that's okay. It is a 10-shot cylinder. That top strap is beefy. And again, rear sight is pinned in. The other thing about the Colt King Cobra target and all Colt models, when you cock that hammer, it actually spins clockwise instead of counterclockwise. By the way, I never, or at least I really try hard to never really dry fire a 22. And to open that cylinder, you pull the cylinder release latch backwards. Pull it totally backwards, unlike the Ruger, where you push it in, unlike the Smith & Wesson, you push it forward. Moving down to the hammer. The hammer is lined, it's not quite stippled, it is grooved on the top and provides plenty of purchase to be able to cock this thing. Now, yes, why did Colt do this? Bear with me here. Bear with me here. Colt put rubber grips with a nice soft back strap on a 22. But on the Python, they included some beautiful wood grips. Beautiful wood grips. And that's why I really don't, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm at a loss for words, but I fixed it. I fixed it. And if you want to see how I fix it, first, look at this footage of me out shooting on the range with this thing, and then I'll come back to the reloading layer and show you how I fixed it. Oh, I got some SK Pistol Mat Special in this thing. Colt King Cobra. I had to get a 22 rod to knock the shells out before, but I just had to try it. Try it from 20 yards, double action. I'll show you the target. Let's see. Oh boy, that wind's blowing. Cold out here. Wind's blowing me all over the place. All right, all 10 went off. No misfires. Oh, look at that. They came out this time. There you go. Let's go down, and I'm going to show you. I'm not going to stop the camera. It's empty. It's safe. Put this thing in my pocket, and I have no idea. Oh, boy. I could barely see. Hang on. Hang on. Let's take this camera down, so you don't think I'm cheating. Here we go. Let's go take a look. I bet you I'm all over the place. Colt King Cobra, target 22. Wind's blowing me all over the place. Well, there you have it. I got an X and a 10, or 2 10s out of it. In the 8s from 20 yards, folks. And I got one out here in the 6 ring. A little less wind, a little more practice, big fella. There you have it. Colt King Cobra target 22. Oh, listen. While out on the range, I shot plenty of CCI Mini Mag, about 250 rounds of CCI Mini Mag, and not one issue, not one misfire. Now, some say that's because Colt had to stiffen up the trigger. My trigger in double action comes in at 9.5 to 9.9 pounds. Yes, on double action, that's where you pull the hammer to the rear without working the hammer at all. In single action, it comes in at about 5.2 pounds pretty consistently in single action. I'm not sure what the variability is, probably how I test, but generally how I test is I put the old Colt or the revolver in my old bench press over there, lock it down. I've got some rubber wrapped around it, some rubber vice jaw grips wrapped around it so there's no scarring. And then I try to pull and make sure it's consistent. But on the double action, 9.5 to round about 9.7, 9.8 pounds. Consistently, single action, 5.2 pounds. Now, while out on the range and shooting this thing, I'll be frank, I saw buffalo. I don't reveal the secret. Golly. Yes, I fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. I put wood grips from HRV Customs. Folks, if you need some wood grips and you have a Colt King Cobra target and you were just as confused as I am about why they put rubber grips on a 22 with almost no recoil, go to HRV Custom, folks. Look them up. And by the way, you notice this one is specialty engraved. They have regular wood grips, or potentially you can work with them. If you got a logo, a brand of some sort, you just want your name engraved in them, initials engraved in them. Maybe it's going to be a family heirloom in some way, form, or fashion. They'll engrave it for you. They'll stipple it for you. They'll put the design on here for you. Very responsive in working with me, at least. And look, they didn't even know anything about this small, humble YouTube channel. So try not to say there was influence in any way, form, or fashion there. I think they treated me just like they would treat any customers. Yes, and notice the silver inlay from Colt as well. Yes, really, really, HRV Customs. Go check them out, folks. But anyways, where I was going with this thing is I also put 250 rounds of CCI Mini Mag, but I also wanted to try some SK pistol match ammo. Is that ammo just meant for semi-autos? I don't know, but I wanted to try it in this thing, and let me tell you, whoo! The accuracy was unbelievable. Also, they were a pain in the butt. I know Buffalo from Buffalo Outdoors over there. I know he has one of these, and he wanted to know, so I decided to try it. He wanted to know, will SK pistol match work in such a revolver? I tried it, and it didn't come out right, folks, for me, meaning very accurate, but SK pistol match special, hard to eject. Let me get a 22 rod. I had to take a rifle cleaning rod, turn the rifle up, and punch each one of the shells out. I mean, they were jammed in there. I could not eject them with the ejector rod. I just couldn't. No matter how much pressure, I couldn't eject them. I'm not sure what that's about, because on the box, it says they're 980 feet per second. 980 feet per second over 1,200 feet per second from the CCI Mini Mag. CCI Mini Mag fired fine, extracted fine. Someone that is more knowledgeable than I, please explain that to me. But I tell you, I had a blast today with the Colt King Cobra target. No matter how cold it was out there, and no matter how bad my wife ran me down to the reloading layer, excuse me for that mess back there. But I tell you what, it is pretty clean. Let's forget about that. Colt King Cobra target, HRV Customs. If you need some wood grips, semi-auto, revolver, I would encourage that you check those people out. Very responsive and absolutely beautiful outcome. This to me because of HRV Customs is going to become a family heirloom. Also, it is one of the most beautiful revolvers in this household at this point. Mr. Revolver Guy,